Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock, another on-the-job video. So here we've been asked to make keys for these two patio bolts. There's actually 4 on the door, another 2 there, another 2 there. So we can actually read these locks and do that, but to get my head down here and look through there is going to be a little bit challenging. The next challenge we have on this one here is that the locks haven't been used in quite some time. So whether or not the actual discs are dried up, slow and sluggy, or allow us to decode the lock from the front by key reading it is going to be another question. So the easiest way for this one here to make a key, if they come in a key alike set, sometimes you can have a bunch of keys where you can go through and try all the possible possibilities if you've got a key from each and every one. And if you don't, well, then you've got to get the lock off the door to make a key. For this one here that's old and crusty, I prefer to just take it off the door and make another key. But you can see here, the first problem we have is that the screws are one-way screws, so you just can't undo them. And then the next thing we have is, are these locks all going to be the same key? Now, looking at the color of them, I would say that they would be all the same key, or installed at the same time. If not, they might be 2 pairs, so we'll need to make keys for a left and a right. But let's just start off by doing that. Let's just get this lock off the door and make a key and see how we go. So first things first, safety goggles. And look, there are different methods of doing this, but this is the method I like to use. It seems to be the fastest, most reliablest, and easiest. And I don't normally like to angle grind, but it's very, very quick, and there's only a few little sparks and a few little crumbs, and this is the sort of cleanest way and most reliable. So I'm just going to put a slot in it. Okay, so you can see there's a slot there. That might just be enough to get it. Yep, look at it. Oh no. No, we're a little bit shallow. We'll hit that again. Alright. Okay, now we're good. So we didn't damage the lock too much. There is a couple of marks on it, unfortunately, but this is the most reliable way and quickest way that I like to do it. Other people have different ways, or one-way screwdrivers I find slide straight off a lot of the screws, and it's not reliable. So this is definitely reliable. These screws are on the inside, and there's 2 on a door, so we are losing a little bit of security by putting the groove in to be able to undo them, but not much, not much. And it's the only way to kind of service it. So you see what's happening there is just put a groove in there. All right, step 2, no cockroaches or anything there. Okay, that looks good. Lock doesn't look too bad. So now what we can do is we can push this retainer out and make a key. In the car now, we're looking at this patio bolt that we've just taken off. Now, ideally we want to take this cylinder out. This particular patio bolt, I've seen this in Bunnings, I've seen this at Kmart, so it's a fairly cheap one. So if we're lucky, and we are lucky, we can remove the barrel. To get that out, what we need to do is just put a little bit of pressure here and push this spring-loaded retainer on the back a little bit. And as you can see, it's started to come out the front now. I'm just going to put something in the back of it. Now for this trick, we still need to get it out. You put a pick in there and just give it a wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Grab it on the front and wiggle, 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 wiggle. Make sure the bolt is all the way down and not jammed, because the bolt can restrict you from getting it out. Okay, so I'm a couple of wafers away from getting it out now, just massaging it. So what I'm doing is I'm basically massaging those little wafers, which are sticking out there, all the way down. Okay, now we need to identify the key length, and I'm going to try LF43R, and that seems to slide in quite well. LF43R again, no problems. Okay, so I'm looking at this now, and I can clearly see deep one, a deep cut, no cut, no cut, little cut, little cut. All right, so now let me show you another little trick. Where is my pen? I don't know where my marking pen for my keys are, but I'm just going to use my pink paint pen. Not ideal, uni paint pen marker, but it will work. All right, so now I'm going to put this back in the lock, and I'm going to score just behind the first disc, the second disc, third disc, fourth disc, and fifth disc. Okay, so the first one is quite a large one. I'm going to use my Lishi automotive cutting pliers. Just going to notch that in. One cut down. And it needs to be a little bit lower. That's okay. And also I need, at the end here, I can see my marks if I just put on a slight bit of an angle. A 2, 2, 2. Okay, so those last ones I'm quite happy with. The first one I'm still not happy with. I might even, I'm just going to roll it around here, you can see that. Might even hit it with the impressioning file, the key machine of all key machines. So I'm just going to hit that first one, and I'm also rounding the corners so the discs go in nice and easily. I'm hitting those last 2s on the end, okay, and making sure the ramps are good. I'll just clean up that first ramp. Okay, there we are. There we have our key. So the ramps are good, our heights are good, and our spacing's good. Okay, just a little touch on the 4th one. Just a little touch. One rub of the impressioning file, and we are done. So to put this back in, you pull the key out a little bit, just like 2 mil. You push the retainer in, and then you push the key hard into the barrel. Now we make sure the bolt's out of our way. We slide that in the same way, pull the key out, and all of a sudden the retainer should have popped back out. So let's just check the retainer's out, and I can see the retainer's popped out there. So that means the barrel is now captured in the lock. I test my key, and it's working. Now these are disc with little tiny springs, often jam up. You can actually use WD-40. If you get any of these that are on the windows and you're going through, like all of these, I'm probably just going to spray with a little lick of WD-40. It's just basically, sometimes it's grease and dirt, the springs are corroded. If you use WD, it goes in there quite nicely, and that is working like a brand new lock now. Ready? No effort. No effort to turn it. Perfect. Key goes in, line it up, key goes in, key comes out. No effort to put it in, no effort to turn it. Locked, unlocked. These bolts also too, you can spray them. You can see how corroded they get as well, all the corrosion there. So if we give that a spray, that will feel like a new lock. Good old WD-40. And that will also stop the corrosion in the future. Okay, that's ready to go back on the door. Let's do that. This lock back on, so you can see. Alright, so we put that there, line it back up again. Use the original holes. There we go, screws are started. Okay, so now if I'm lucky, let's just test the lock. It's in the lock position. Key goes in, 180, pull it out. Key's now at 12 o'clock. And the bolt comes all the way up. Bolt goes all the way down. Key locked. Bolt can't be removed. So if we're lucky now, it's going to be the same on this side. Yes, that turns. Let's try the top one, see if we get 4 out of 4. Ah, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so that's making a key to a patio bolt with one-way screws and filing it up by hand. Leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching.